Welcome back to another episode of Let's Go Hunt Incognito Mode, now with 100% more chances of dying for Israel. Tonight we have Dave Packard, who has a 5-day weekend. Sam Alexander, who'd die for a pack of Marlboros and a kind word. Vince H., that thing you heard while out night hiking. And creator of a Glock 17 with extra steps, I'm Mike Gonsalves. Around the campfire, tonight we have a guest from the heart of the Hyborian Age, here to talk to us about the wonders of woolly mammoths and their delicious raw milk. It's Ringo Starr. Hi, Ringo.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Ringo.
So was it hard when Yoko Ono came and just like fucked you all over?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I still hate that bitch.
I mean, don't we all? I can't do the ball club anymore. I'm dying down here. So, unfortunately, or actually, that would be a fortunately, we do not have Ringo Starr from Beatles fame. We have a fellow who we're going to call him Ringo Starr because he showed up and said his name was Starr from 5-Star Alterations. And 5-Star Alterations, sir, why don't you tell us what that is?
Oh, I was prepared for every question, but what is this? So right now we're kind of we do tactical ponchos made out of wool, and the reason why we chose wool is for all the properties that you can imagine: thermal regulation, just the fact that it's actually nice and warm and toasty. And one of my friends, back when I first started doing this, pointed out that it actually was used by like Afghanis and I don't know, the bad guys in Afghanistan to actually mess with our thermal sensors. And there's, people from Blue Jean Operator to Grantham with stories about how wool blankets messed with their thermals in, wherever they were at. And so we started testing it, and it's actually pretty true, and it's kind of crazy. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we found out about you. I'll just shamelessly admit, I poached you off We Like Shooting before We Like Shooting can get to you.
They called you out, too.
Well, it's like they heard about you. The Sean from We Like Shooting starts talking about, these wool ponchos. Like, oh, those look sick. And then it's like, oh, look, he's in the comment section. It's like, Instagram. Off we go. So,
Poached.
pretty much, just like an egg. So I had one very, very important question for you going into this, though. Is there any truth to the rumors that you're still pillaging cloaks from the set of Lord of the Rings?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's literally where everything started. Just for a quick anecdote. So like I travel for work. I'm always in the car. So I was listening to the Lord of the Rings audiobooks, and I was on like my second or third re-listen just back to back to back. And I was so fed up with it. I was like, I'm doing this. And I didn't want cosplay garbage. Not that those people make bad products. It's just for what I wanted, tactical hunting, outdoor use. A piece of cotton really isn't going to hang. So I was just trying to find something I liked. And
oh, they sell cotton ones?
yeah, any like linen is cotton, and they have like 100% cotton ones that are like
terrible.
Yeah.
Simply terrible. Well, that's neato. So that's why you got to start them doing them then. Do you have you ever made this kind of crap in the past, or is this a first? It was like a first step. Like, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh shit, I need to buy a sewing machine. Oh
literally,
shit, I need to learn how to sew.
Absolutely. My first machine was a borrowed one from a friend. I didn't even know how to put the thread on it, and I was just like, yeah, exactly. And I was like, all right, let me YouTube this real quick. So
yeah, my mom was always sewing when I grew up, so I learned a little bit from her. Oh, I hate sewing, especially sit there, thread it through the freaking machine, and then you get it to where you put it through the needle, and you push a little thingamajiggy down, and you hook it. Then you let go, and it goes through half the time, and half the time it fucking doesn't. So you pull thread out the back, and then you're the little spool that's underneath the foot.
The bobbin.
Yeah, there you go. That one always fucking runs out of thread too. It's like
for anyone wondering, this is Sam's villain origin story.
They tried to make me sew. Uh,
But yeah, my grandma sewed all through me growing up, so I was in and around it, and I understood
Mhm.
the idea of make your own stuff and why somebody that grew up during the Depression would want to do that. But I was always like, oh, this isn't the Depression. What do I need to know that for? And then now I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
Shit,
so
I
it's
need to know that.
2025 and it's looking a lot more depressing. All right, got it, got it.
just like 1925. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm,
I don't know, la la la. I'm not
It
hearing
checks
this.
out.
Can you not? Don't make the parallels.
Shut your visor.
I
Who would have?
wanted to, but
Who would ever known that the Ayatollah of Iran was the next Hans Ferdinand? Wait, no, that's the wrong fucking dude. Archduke Ferdinand. Hans Ferdinand's the Porsche guy. Whoops.
Porsche.
Oh, shut up, nerd. It's not a Japanese car. What do you care?
I had a 944 for 17 years. Porsche is one of my loves. Take that.
Anyway,
Anyway, oh god.
Now what?
I do love how in depth you've gone with your explanation of why you chose wool on your
Oh,
website. It is
yeah.
that is fantastic.
Appreciate that.
So, did you get the idea from both the wool blankets in the military being the only thing that ever kept anybody warm ever, and the idea that they're somehow keeping you safe based on, or keeping you safe from thermal based on like the Lord of the Rings, Frodo Baggins hiding from the orcs thing?
Yeah, so the way the blankets came about was that I searched for months for the right material. I knew what color I wanted, and it was that like OD green color.
Yeah.
And to find something like that is still to this day nigh impossible. And it just kept coming back around in my Google searches, and I was just like, all right, fuck it, let me just buy some. And then it was actually not that bad. It was a lot lighter. It was less itchier than I thought it was going to be. And then my friends saw me do it, and they got super excited, and they all bought their own blankets for me to sew into ponchos. And so yeah, I mean they were a big driving force at the beginning because they thought it was so cool too. And I was like, all right, well, if I'm not the only one who thinks it's cool, then
That's awesome that you had friends helping drive you, getting behind you and say, no, do this. That's awesome, man.
yeah, yeah.
So,
But I mean, I wanted to do wool like straight up from the beginning. I didn't want, like I said, cotton or anything crazy like that. I wanted wool because I wanted it to work, and that's why I stuck with that.
yeah, I mean, I actually love wool, mostly in socks. That's my thing, socks, because like Varustelika in Finland makes like the wool shell jackets, and it's like a fucking $350. Like, ooh, no. I think wool gets a bad rap. We've given wool way too much shit over the years for a material that in summer, I mean, with socks speaking at least, with summer will actually keep your feet nice and cool. It doesn't freaking itch, and it gets that shit wet. It's like still keeps you warm. Whoa.
I mean, I'm an
You
avowed
say it doesn't
wool
itch, but
lover.
some people it definitely itches, but maybe it's just construction.
It's just your soft skin. It's that soft. You rub that Chick-fil-A sauce into your skin every morning, and it just makes it too tender, sir.
You're just jealous you can't rub it into your skin because you can't get the packages open properly.
That was a manufacturing defect. That was not user error.
That was definitely user error.
It's the one in Castle Rock that did it. The two from your store this morning opened just fine.
Don't drag our good name into this. Those were we know how to open our sauces. Thank you.
Sure. So, primarily, then it seems like, well, because this is also the direction you started out in. Probably who your primary customer base is more on the shooting side and the preparedness side of life, as opposed to like maybe just outdoors in general.
Yeah, definitely. That was kind of the idea. I wanted to bring two things that I love together, which was some people call it civilian defense, or prepper kind of stuff. And then Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, and they always have the big voluminous cloaks and stuff like that. And so I wanted to bring those two worlds that I love so much together. And apparently I wasn't the only one that wanted to do that. So, but we have had a lot of outdoorsy guys. I've had lots of hunters reach out to me, and just hikers in general that just want to go enjoy the outdoors. So
I've seen, I can't remember who was doing it. Somebody was running around Instagram also selling basically, here's a wool blanket, and they had somebody make a bunch of brooch pins, and they were selling. I was thinking, wait a minute, that's just a blanket. So when I saw yours, like, oh, good, at least it has a hood and a nice. So you've got a hood on yours, right? And then a nice little like kangaroo pouch up front. Well, not a kangaroo pouch, but a little like a.
That's what I call it, a kangaroo pouch. Yeah, like on a hoodie or something.
Oh, well, I'm thinking about it because I didn't write this down in my questions. This has to do with pouches and then the more tactical side. Have you thought of anything to do with like? I'm trying to think if there's a better term than like flap, where I'm able to open it up to access a chest rig underneath.
Yeah, we've looked into stuff like that, and I think some of the newer stuff coming out will please the people that want to be able to access their plate carriers and chest rigs a little bit faster. So,
well, because you never know, that elk's gonna run away, and he's got a gun.
Just full on, just got it. Yeah.
Well, if it's like so I've worn outdoors in wintertime, especially quite a bit. It's a Russian shelter half or quarter, I can't remember, but a pushpolutka, which is just it's canvas, and it's treated for rain resistance. And it starts off as a square, and then you essentially button it the right way and fold it the right way, and it turns into like a little canvas hobbit cloak. And for accessing that underneath, you just grab one end of it and flip the whole thing over your shoulder, and it looks really epic. If it was
that's we do that too with the ponchos. We call it the Ranger flip, because then you look like a like
you're
a ranger.
Mirror, and look, there's the Oliphant.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, perfect. I don't know. As soon as I saw these, I was like, ooh, I got to talk to this guy, because that's right up my alley. The whole Lord of the Rings shit plus just based, as the kids say.
I love the nerd shit. I really do love the nerd references, the nerd throwbacks and inspiration. It's really cool.
Yeah, appreciate that. That's who I am for sure. So,
I mean, Tolkien's not hugely my thing, but I'm a nerd in other respects.
He's not Japanese enough. If it had been Tolkien-sama, he'd be like, oh. If
I should read some Japanese literature, but I would not know where to start.
If Narsil was a katana, this man would have a replica on his wall.
Dude, Narsil. What would you call Narsil if it was in Japanese?
Nagasama-sil? I don't know. I just string random Japanese sounds together, sir.
That's racist.
Hey, I'm still paying them back from 2 generations ago. They deserve it.
Hey, did you see that Nagasaki was putting on a show for the biggest firework ever recorded?
Wait a minute.
We won that one already twice.
Yeah.
Look, we either went one bomb too few or one too many, because Japan turned out a little strange. That's all I have to say. Like, there were too many schools downwind of those bombs.
Montana Dirt Roads asks, how thick is the material?
That's a good question. So there's different ways to answer that, right? So basically the total poncho itself weighs about 3.5 pounds. And you think like, holy crap, that's heavy, right?
Actually, that's lighter than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, it's 80% wool. I mean, we can go down into like material selection or whatever, but it's not a whoopee. You know what I mean? Like this, and it's you can't take a whoopee into some of the stuff that we've taken our ponchos in. And I know that sounds like so shilly, and I mean, I kind of have to be, right? It's my company, but we beat the living shit out of our ponchos, especially the ones that I make for my friends for like, just for cost of materials. It's like, why not? We didn't really put money into it, so let's go beat the shit out of them and test them out. They've held up to everything. So the technical answer to would be the wool is 550 grams per square meter. That's the weight of it. I can't remember what ounces that is. I think it's like 18 or 19 ounces per yard. So like I said, it's not light, but it's also like damn near bulletproof. So
I was going to say, one benefit of wool, if we're talking about doing outdoors, is wool won't melt if you get too close to a fire. Your whoopee, it'll melt.
Yep.
I have a whoopee. I bought one after years of never buying one because it's like, well, everyone who's ever used one in the military says they're the best thing in the world. So maybe I'm missing something. And then I got it and it just sits in the truck because it's not heavy enough to be a real blanket for me. And it doesn't even cover me. I'm not that tall, but whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the guy who was in the military and still drinks Bud Light.
But like,
There's guys that aren't in the military and never have been and drink Bud Light, which I found surprising.
Maybe you were in the Air Force.
it was Chardonnay.
It's still the military.
So,
you
Ringo,
never needed a field blanket. You always had a hotel.
So Ringo,
Not wrong.
is your material treated in any way for water repellency?
No, and I always tell my customers, I'm like, hey, this isn't water like proof. This isn't meant to go in the rain. And I swear half of them are like, yeah, I took it out in the rain. And I'm like, I just told you not to do that. But yeah. So technically, no. However, wool and, tightly woven wool is going to have some water resistance to it. I can vouch for that personally, let alone my friends that go out and just treat their stuff, like I said, like crap. People love it. And then if it does get a little wet, you're still warm. It's wool. You know what I mean? It's going to retain that body heat for you. So
Yeah, retains about on average 80% body heat. The only thing with wool is it gets wet, it just tends to get longer. It just stretches. I mean, then my experience with like wool blankets, they get a little bit longer and then they get dry and they shrink back up.
Yep. Perfect. And these, they dry pretty well. I mean, you just lay them out on the floor or hang them up on something and they're fine.
It's too bad it's not that way with other things in life.
I'm not gonna explain. Nope.
It's just always cold where Mike is. That's what he says.
I mean,
I was wondering where that was going. I was like, where's this going?
I was at the pool. These guys never watched Seinfeld growing up, so they don't understand all of my good references.
If all of your
It's crazy.
references are
Yes.
Seinfeld, I hate to tell you, they're not all good references.
Oh yes, they are. I will come down to your house and fight you, sir.
Listen, you don't know where I am. I'm wearing a helmet.
The temptation to give out your address live is
2-2.
oh boy. Hang on, I gotta go back to my show notes here.
Here, I'll ask
This one came up. I think this one even came up on WLS too, which is, do they make blaze orange wool?
I've actually seen a bright orange. I don't know if you know what it is. Blaze orange. It is actually.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I don't know like all the hunting regulations where everybody's at. I know it differs state by state, but like sometimes we could probably just do like a hood or a pocket or something that would cover whatever the percentage is supposed to be. But I mean, we have custom poncho options on the website. You just got to reach out.
I have thoughts on this actually. I was just thinking about this. If you had like a blaze orange panel that you could use like Velcro or hook and loop and just lay it on there.
Yeah.
And if you don't need it, you just peel it off front and back, because Colorado is 500 square inches of blaze orange, but you also need a head covering. They make blaze orange chromers, which are wool caps already, but just having something where you could just like tuck it away in your pack if you need to. If you are out hunting, you just
What if you had a wool hat that like you put on and then it had strings down the front and the back, and it attached to the strings front and back were 250 square inches front and 250 square inches back of blaze orange, and it's just this like blaze orange patch hat. Anytime you need it, you've got everything you're legally required to have on you, and then you can wear whatever else you want. And then when you're not required, like, oh, we'll just take this off and tuck it back into my like pocket here.
A
And
man
boom.
named Mike Gonsalves hangs himself while elk hunting, but he wasn't in a tree stand.
Actually, Dave, that's a really good idea because they make the high visibility panels,
Mhm.
and the hook side Velcro should stick to wool really well.
Even if it's not really well, even if like every
Well enough.
mile you have to peel up a
So-
corner, but
So are these ponchos basically reversible? So you can flip them inside out and they work the same?
Yeah, basically. I mean, if you ripped it or turned it inside out, you would see the seam around the neck, on the reverse side. But I mean, it's all one material. It's not like layered or anything, especially
Okay.
in the hood. So, I mean, technically, yeah. So the people like I will tell you this, like, so when I first started offering the kangaroo pocket, I thought I was just going to only offer it on the outside. And my wife was like, well, you should offer it on the inside. And then literally as soon as I announced it, I had like 5 people email me and they were like, hey, you should do it on the inside. And I'm like, all right, I'll give the customer what they want. And I got to give it to them. They called it. My wife and those customers called it. Having the pocket on the inside is
Mhm.
really nice.
So
But long way to say you could turn it inside out and then have it on the outside if you wanted.
So that got me thinking, if you did a kangaroo pocket in blaze orange and then somehow you could make so blaze orange pocket on the outside and then the blaze orange on the hood, and then when you reverse it, the blaze orange is hidden so that you can have something that's useful for multiple different kinds of hunting, or if you want it for like survivalist scenario as well, because you don't want blaze orange just hanging out there if you are trying to be subtle, and you don't want to carry 2 ponchos with you just so you can have some blaze orange on it.
Yeah, that kind of would go along the lines of something I'm been developing for a while now that isn't wool, but could easily integrate that kind of stuff into it. So yeah, that'd be cool.
Very nice, very nice.
can you go ahead, Sam?
No. I was just gonna reiterate. After all, I like Dave's idea.
Mm-hmm.
Just get a blaze orange vest and stick it on there.
Mm-hmm.
So
use it when you need it and not.
what this looks like to me as I'm looking at the website, some of the coziest times I've ever had hunting are when I'm out there and the snow's falling. It's not windy at all, but the snow's falling. It's just cold enough to hit you and start sticking and building up. It's just nice and peaceful. Everything starts to get cold around you, so you put your like extra vest or whatever over your knees, and like you get done hunting and your knees and legs have just been nice and toasty this whole time because of that one extra layer. This is looking like that one extra layer that you could be out there just regardless if it's not pouring rain or whatever, like don't get it wet, but the extra layer that you need, like when you're I just wish I had a blanket. Boom, you've got one in your pack.
Yeah. And going back to the rain and the water thing, that reminds me that one of my ponchos that I have around, I sprayed with like a DWR spray, just like from Amazon.
Mhm.
And that helped shed a lot of water when it was coming out.
Nice.
Obviously, snow is going to be a little bit different because it wants to stick to everything. But
Yeah, and on the tactical Goonie side of that, though, I bet you that shit reflects IR like nuts.
not from my experience.
Really?
Yeah, we've got night vision, and we run stuff like that quite often, and
Oh,
I haven't noticed a difference.
Yeah, my just again, no personal experience with it on that end, but yeah, I've got nods, and I was just imagining like treating something with like water repellent, and then it glowing in the dark as soon as you point a night vision at it. But hey, if
I
it
think
works,
there is
works.
some. Yeah, I think there is some. Just that one particular one. I think it was Nick Wax Spray or something. Pretty well known brand, but yeah,
It's well, probably yeah. If it's like a wax spray versus like a
maybe that's what it
synthetic
was.
compound. Anywho,
Do you have plans to make actual camouflage patterns into eventually?
Yeah, that's
rattle can.
yeah. So rattle can works. We've tried that. I've been meaning to do like a blog post and a Instagram post and all that, kind of hyping it up because that solved a lot of the issues we were having as far as camouflage.
Yeah.
So apparently the wool is so fibrous, just in general, whether it's the type of wool we offer or just like something you could go buy off the rack, that it doesn't really accept like printing very well. Like, so this is the surplus French fleece, right? And my wife, when I opened this up, my wife was pissed. She's like, well, if they can print it, camo on fleece, why can't they do it on wool? And I looked into it, and apparently it's because, fleece is artificial, so it's super easy to dye. It doesn't matter what temperature you run it. It doesn't really matter what you do to it. But the wool is extremely difficult to do camouflage in. So we're working on it, and it's like every day, every other day, I'm sending an email. I'm looking at this, I'm doing that. So I mean, we're trying. I don't want to overpromise on anything, but I am trying. So
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, about to say you don't usually see wool in patterns unless it's been knit in a pattern.
yeah.
Yeah, they don't just screen print that. But again, that's where go to Lowe's, 2 cans of Krylon, get your inner Bob Ross out, and
Yep.
and then you could do 2 sides. It's reversible. You get your desert side for if you want to bake yourself like a little easy bake oven. It'll be fine. Hang on, I'm gonna pull up because in the comments we got somebody asking not what it looks like, but I realized I should pull that up.
I've got it up if you want me to.
No, go ahead, Dave. Look at you.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've been here.
I should promote you to
Same.
somebody more in charge, and that way I can.
I'm already an admin. That would just go to my head.
Yeah, you'd end up like me,
Like it hasn't already.
threatening to ban Vince for $50 if somebody would pay me.
So these are them.
Yeah, because Montana Dirt Roads was asking if it has reinforced elbows, and it's like it's not that type of like jacket poncho. You've got slits out both sides. You can stick your arms and cap like a bird.
It's like a wearable blanket, but cool.
He said it'd be nice to
I'm
have
not
sleeves.
sure he knows what a poncho is.
Sleeves would be nice. I have seen people do like at-home projects to take an entire wood blanket and turn it into I always fuck up this word, anorak.
Anorak, yeah, those
Anorak,
are
there you go.
I love anoraks. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? Something like that down the
We
line.
just watched Ready Player One.
Nice.
Oh.
The
Yeah,
book was
Ready
fantastic.
Player Two.
I'm too old for this reference.
Don't read Ready Player 2. Don't.
We listened to it on our road trip back from Idaho a couple weeks
sorry.
ago. It wasn't. I mean, it was a pretty good book in its own right, but like I kind of hated the way that they did him dirty like that. Like there wasn't a need to go down that road.
Absolutely.
I read the book. I didn't watch the movie, mostly because after reading the book, I realized there's no way the hour-and-a-half movie is going to be good.
It was basically a bunch of video game, like it was the same thing, a bunch of nostalgic references, nerd references, pop culture references, but it didn't follow the book at all because if they had the movie would have been really boring. Like you'd having the kid standing there playing the video game with the dragon or what I don't remember what it is in the first challenge. That would have been a boring movie. Of course they're going to make it a race. And of course he's going to drive the DeLorean. That's how you make a movie.
I'm glad
Well,
I skipped that.
That
One-
sounds like some apologist stuff right there. I don't need to hear that. So.
I enjoyed both versions, but I hate Hollywood and I hate what they do to people or
Shots
what they
fired.
do to books. But
No,
I
agree.
I genuinely enjoyed the movie version.
Mike's
Well-
down here being like, actually, The Last Jedi is a really good movie. You just don't realize it.
I'll leave the chat right now.
I think that was the last movie I saw in theaters. I saw The Last Jedi. I was like, you know what? I'm done.
I'm done with movies.
It had nothing to do with having kids right after that. Trust me.
Well,
You continued to bring children into this world after that movie was released. That's on you.
that's
Yeah,
because
because
he
it
wasn't
was
at the movies.
Because dealing with dealing with kids screaming at 3 a.m. in the morning was preferable to The Last Jedi.
As opposed to 3 a.m. in the afternoon.
I mean, they scream at all hours of the day. Well, I can't stop it.
It's like that guy who's just had his first child born, and then the nuclear bomb drops, and he's like, "I've made a mistake. I should not have brought you into this world." But that was Sam with The Last Jedi.
No, I saw the movie first, though.
I have not seen that
Don't.
or read the books that you guys are talking about, so I have no fucking idea. But I do have one question. Can you explain thermal delay?
Oh,
Yeah, definitely. Anything specific, or just kind of go over the broad strokes?
So, I understand the general gist of thermal delay. It is like how long it takes heat to reach the surface of a material, correct?
Yep.
What is the time for one of your ponchos?
Yeah. So that's one of those questions that I wish I could just give you a straight answer, but
Yeah,
it's like it's very
ballpark is
dependent
fine.
on ambient temperatures on that.
Mm-hmm.
The longest time we've had just for testing has been about 30 minutes of static activity, and we did a little post on that, and yeah, it seemed to do fine. Like after a few minutes, yeah, you could see the shoulders because that's where it's like hitting the most. But
Tighter.
I was wearing a helmet just like I am now, and that's kind of the use case that I wanted to use it for. Made sure I made the hood big enough to fit over most helmets, and that's not touching your head or your neck or anything, so that stays nice and cool.
What about those of us that wear an XL ACH? Is it big enough?
I've actually seen some guys have some pretty crazy helmet stuff and not have an issue. There's one
good.
guy in California. He emailed me and he was like, "Yo, I need a really big hood," and he sent me a picture of his helmet, and I was like, "How do you wear that on your head? It's so big." But yeah, so I mean, thermal delay is kind of a term I coined just to kind of give it some context, right? Like it's not invisibility. This isn't Harry Potter shit. This is like, oh shit, I hear the fucking drone. Let me throw my poncho on type of thing.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Here come the cops.
Yeah. And it's like I had a blog post explaining like how all the thermal footage we're seeing out of Ukraine is basically utter and complete bullshit for civilians, like a civilian preparedness minded people.
Mm-hmm.
They have unlimited resources, unlimited time, and they're gonna find you. I don't care what you're doing, right? That's not what we're doing here. Now, if that comes to the US, like, yeah, we're all fucked, right? Like that's just end of story. But I think like I've walked around parks and neighborhoods with the thermal, and you would be surprised how hot even trees are at 3 o'clock in the morning on a nice cool morning. Plus all the other animals and cars and buildings, and you don't have to be like in the woods. If you're in the woods, yeah, that's gonna suck, right? But if you're anywhere near civilization or even just a densely forested area, like any type of delay is going to help that.
And we were talking kind of areas of operation, and if you have the sun, if you're out in the woods or outdoors somewhere and you have the sun beating down on rocks and boulders, you go out and try and look through thermal in the middle of the night, and those rocks are still holding a whole lot of that heat, and it is difficult to, if you don't move, if you're looking for an animal and it doesn't move, a lot of times you're not going to be able to tell the difference between a rock and an animal that you're looking for, whether that's a human animal or you're out there hunting for something,
I was actually
else.
thinking about this today. Well, to touch on what you were talking about, Vince, I think the thermal delay with these ponchos has a pretty good like safety side to it too, because when we're out thermal hunting, if I'm set up somewhere, like when we're calling coyotes, if I'm set up somewhere and I have this on and I have 30 minutes, and usually a set's 12 minutes, so it's plenty time for that coat in the right situation. I understand, but I have another guy roll up, and if I'm moving around and he has this piece of shit thermal that he's just seeing this glowing dot, it's like, that's something, and touches around off. I'm not saying it happens often. I bet it, I don't even know if it's ever happened, but the fact that if you can't be seen as a target, you're not a target is kind of what I'm getting at.
You remember when we were coyote hunting?
Mhm.
And it
I was
what was
there,
it?
yeah.
August, July.
July.
Remember when we were coyote hunting in July and we were all dying in the heat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want
That's
to
a
put one of
winter
those
thing.
on.
Except for when you're calling coyotes in January.
I mean,
I would
that's
absolutely have
that's
one of these
totally
on.
fair.
Yeah, but would you rather die?
Like,
I mean, maybe.
To be
I've
fair,
worn them before. If it came to it, yeah, I'd rather wear it than die. But if we're just calling coyotes,
Okay.
No,
that's
and
too hot.
That's
So
our
yeah,
next
in
challenge.
January sounds better.
That's our
Guys-
next challenge. Call predators in full mop gear.
No, thank you. Hard
No, I
pass.
just, as soon as I saw the picture on your blog, that's instantly what I thought of was I don't look like I'm an animal out there because I'm not throwing a heat signature or nearly as much of a heat signature that an animal would. So that's just instantly what popped in my mind.
Yeah, I'm totally going to write that down and steal that for later marketing. But that reminds me, you said something about cheap thermals, and that is something I haven't really touched on. But like, okay, yes, cheap thermals are becoming much more proliferated, especially in the States,
Mm-hmm.
and they're trash. Honestly, it's like cheap night vision or digital night vision. It's like it's garbage.
Mhm.
So if you can, anything that you could do to help you is better than nothing. And like, yeah, you're not going to be hiding from the AC-130 or the fucking helicopter attack,
The
but like
cooled thermals.
fucking
Yeah.
Bubba retard down the fucking, I didn't mean to say the R word, Bubba dude down the fucking street.
If
How
you're
dare
worried
you call
about
Mike that?
hang up. This is the banner we threw up
There
sometimes.
we go.
LGH retard squad. It's like, yeah, we don't.
But
we
if
have
he's
no
got
filter.
his fucking thermal on a Mosin or something, like at least you can like not be a target for that dude.
That's where we get into Harry Potter shit is with cheap thermals.
Yeah,
The guy with
literally.
with the $400 I can't even think of the name. It's a Fleur, like the $400 little Fleur monocular. It is Mosin.
Just
Yeah,
no.
it's
It's the
invisible, all right?
second guy who tried to shoot Trump. But he's got a thermal taped to his SKS.
Yeah.
Toilet.
That poor
toilet
SKS.
I
paper
was
too.
going to say this is my next idea for a ridiculous. Why would you do that? Build and put a thermal on a Mosin, but I think I'm going to scrap that idea now. Thank you, Vince.
You should do it, Ben. You should do it, Mike.
Are you going to wear that son of a bitch all night, Mike?
I mean,
I'm committed. He has to be committed too.
Yeah, I'm shut in my closet and there's no AC in here, so I had to abandon my get up.
it's a
surprised
fairly
he's
nice
here.
day, and I got the window open. I'm good.
Fairly nice.
It's
day.
like, so I don't know if you know what bone conduction. Well, I think of hearing aids because of my wife, but the earbuds are. He has like bone conduction, but it's going from his head muffs into his helmet, into his skull, and
It's
into
like
his
so,
that explains the delay right there.
it's just it's resonating through the plastic of that helmet, and it's just surround sound at this point.
Plot
pull
twist:
up
the
his
helmet is actually 30 cents worth of styrofoam.
that's proof NASA's real right there.
No, that's not NASA. That's the other guys.
Illuminati confirmed.
It's other guy.
That's those guys right there.
Other guy.
Turns
Nah,
out that freaking song back in the USSR was wrong. They should have sung back in the CCCP.
How do these hold up in the wind? Like, does the wind cut through pretty good?
Oh, helmet comes right off.
No.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Mike.
So
Styrofoam.
the original ones I made didn't have drawstrings, and the hood was so big because I wanted to match the Lord of the Rings vibe,
Mhm.
and they would get blown off. The version ones that I offer still now don't have drawstrings, so that's a problem. But since I added the drawstrings, it's just tighten it up and go on about your day.
Oh shit! I just had an idea,
Awesome.
and it goes back to my Russian frickin' poncho. And you could just bank this for later. Except for if you use it, you have to name them after me. So like the ponchos do the same thing. The wind kicks up from the right angle, it can kind of billow on you, but they have toggles going, like one toggle on each side where you can just toggle it through, and it creates not like really sleeves, but it prevents the wind from going. Whoop. Something to think about. That's all.
I'm writing that down.
Okay, so what you have
But
to
you
do
have to
for
call 'em-
Sam,
The Sam toggle.
the Sam Doggle, and it's got to be a pinup of him doing the whole Marilyn Monroe thing with the billowing skirt.
But it's Sam's own just hairy, meaty legs.
All right, hey, you haven't seen my
Tasty.
calves, sir. There's a reason I
Pasty,
don't wear
hairy,
shorts.
meaty legs.
Yeah, I haven't seen them. Therefore, I'm left to imagine they're hairy and meaty.
They are hairy, and genetically speaking, because of my mom, yeah, they are. They're. It looks like I don't skip leg day. The secret is I don't go to the gym. They're just.
If you want your own pair of Hoochie Daddy shorts, Camerado.com. Use Let's Go Hunt.
Oh shit! I missed that one.
Get the pink ones.
I should have brought 2 beers down here. Damn it! Oh well, we're going right to vodka then.
Terrible OPSEC.
I brought a water, but I'm not gonna drink it through the. So
Oh,
Yeah. I ran into a problem earlier where
oh, you need a straw like the NASCAR guys do. I forgot
Fucking
this is the-
clank of the can on your helmet. Oh.
I forgot this is that shitty Ukrainian vodka. Oh well. Corn. This is fantastic. The only show title we've written down so far is I wrote down Hot Trees.
Oh yeah, I'm not dual monitoring, so I keep forgetting about show titles.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you're down a monitor.
My shit's
Damn it,
broke.
Dave. You're bringing our production value down, sir.
Oh yeah, it's me, not the astronaut.
I'm
Astronaut,
he's cosmonaut.
spastronaut. I'm writing it down.
All right, so this is what I wrote towards the end of the list here. I wrote down a crap ton of questions with the intent of only using a quarter of them because this usually goes. But for somebody who's never used wool and has that kind of that stereotype in mind of like if you touch a wool item, it instantly makes your skin erupt in all kinds of itchies.
Like insulation.
Oh, I like fiberglass. Like it's freaking
Mhm.
Pink Panther fiberglass insulation, which I suppose if you wrapped yourself in that, you'd probably stay pretty warm out there.
I heard that's called Home Inspector cotton candy.
Yeah, but have you ever actually tried to eat it?
No, but I have seen somebody set a bowl out of it,
Wait,
I
what?
don't
like a candy dish bowl of insulation,
Oh.
looking like cotton candy.
Anyway,
I don't
before I
like
forget my
bubble
question,
gum.
we're already getting off track.
That's a terrible idea. Where?
For somebody who's never used a wool product before, what would you have to say to them? If they're an idiot, you can just say they're an idiot. That's fine.
no, I mean, this is coming from the guy who wears wool underwear in Texas in the summer because it's actually thermoregulating and better for your sweat than synthetics. Having said that, I had a thought. Where did
Dave,
it
write
go?
that down. Wool underwear. I got it.
No,
Sorry.
people have used wool for thousands of years in desert climates, Egypt, the Middle East. Like they have wool everywhere across the globe. It's like basically a magic material. People are like, oh, I like my whatever Under Armour synthetic melt on my skin, and and it's like, I don't know why. I grew up with it, and now I can't get away from it fast enough. I have to have either cotton or wool, or the two, and hemp, I guess, is
Oh.
another good one. But
So you are into the raw mammoth milk then? Sweet.
yeah,
I prefer mine pasteurized.
Sheep
So,
or lucky
hey,
wool exists because
Have you
sheep are
considered
stupid.
have you considered starting a llama farm so that you can get your wool wool sale?
Alpacas,
we'll call it?
alpacas are the better wool.
Vince, what were you gonna say before Mike fucked you?
Oh, nothing.
Oh,
It was a semi-legitimate
Nothing.
question.
You didn't have any objections to Mike? Sorry.
There's a delay in his helmet. It's fine.
it's
Yeah,
the
Houston.
1.5 surround sound, not the 5.1.
I'm on like mono.
You have mono?
CPCC surround sound. That's the show title too. He only had to wait for. He only put his order in for this surround sound system 8 years ago, and it finally came in.
So Ringo,
Ugh.
you told us before that you haven't hunted, correct?
correct.
Are you interested at all about what hunting is, or possibly getting into it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
I have a couple friends that are always on my ass about going hunting, and I'm
oh man.
yeah.
Like they want to take you, or they want you to take them.
Oh,
Like-
they want to take me. Yeah.
Then go
There's a
with
couple
them.
guys. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
It takes time,
Yeah.
Deer
It
ain't
does.
getting any deader.
true.
Right?
especially those little deer. I mean, if you wait too long, Vince, they get big.
They also get, they're tastier when they're small.
Sam was actually, like, when we started this podcast, he was our new guy, the guy
I
that
was-
really
I was
hadn't
totally
gone
the new.
hunting.
And now look at me. I kill
Yeah.
beaver for fun.
He slays
Yeah.
beaver.
Ooh, that's it. That's it. The wool poncho. I need to get my beaver hides tanned for basically a full fur lined hood and a mantle across the shoulders.
You
Oh,
were going to sweat to death.
not when we go up there, all three of us, in October. Not then. I want to be toasty warm. You
Yeah.
guys are gonna be freezing your ass.
So am I, because I'm
no,
going to be
fuck
wearing
you.
jeans and a hoodie because it's October.
You're gonna be wearing your great orange your great pumpkin freaking
Yes,
fleece.
I will also have one of these ponchos, so I will be a cool guy.
We'll be cool. I mean, what do we call him? Was it the Great Pumpkin or something? What's from Charlie Brown?
Well, that's the great pumpkin. Yeah.
Yeah, the Great Pumpkin. Okay,
It is the Great Pumpkin, but I don't understand.
it's fine.
You look like a fucking pumpkin when you wear your puffy blaze orange coat.
Especially when you wear a little green hat.
Easy, Mike. Don't forget your stem.
So I'm in the market for a new coat.
Wait a minute, Dave. We get some black paint and we paint a little jack-o'-lantern on the front.
Yeah, because there's plenty of orange to still be legal. There's
Yeah,
enough
it's-
orange on
it's-
his sleeves to be legal.
I need to set this up somewhere else.
Yeah, you do.
I'm having too good of a time tonight.
Have you thought about what you might want to go hunting for? Whether it's like upland birds, like pheasant and quail, or waterfowl, turkey, deer.
Bear.
Have you given any thought? I know because you're southern United States, so it's
Yeah.
you're not hunting moose, but
No. There is elk around here a little bit further south, so that's not impossible to do. It's expensive, but it's not impossible. But
yeah,
Well,
there's
you're in
also black
Texas.
bear down there too. So
You're in.
Do you mind if you say like?
oh
what
no,
state
yeah,
you're
yeah.
in?
I'm in Texas.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can bleep that out later.
Well, I mean, with your face, I didn't know maybe the feds were after you.
Yeah.
Like
They
you
probably
said,
are.
The
It's a
Chinese were
big
after
state.
you.
Like,
You don't got any. That's the problem with Texas is you don't got any public land to go hunt, so
Yep.
everything's expensive for you.
Yep.
And that's why I
Exactly.
wanted to bring it up. And sorry if I doxed you, but
No.
Yeah, now Massad's gonna show up at his house. Good job, Mike.
you're taking all our good wool.
I mean, I am on Instagram, the most racist app out there. So
Depending on who you
Best
follow,
app.
it sure as hell is.
I
Damn.
thought
Yes, it is.
TikTok was pretty racist, but that's me.
you have
Oof.
TikTok.
no, TikTok is like child's play compared to Instagram. I promise. I promise.
You get some of those reels that are like set to freaking Ramstein's sun.
Mhm.
It's like, wait a minute. Oh, that's a black sun and a swastika in the background spinning around in front of pictures of I had to differentiate between Hyborian age because that's Conan the Barbarian, and then Hyperborean, whatever. You see some of those reels go by, you're like, never mind.
But yeah, I've looked at doing waterfowl with some friends. I got a buddy that always does crane,
yeah.
hill crane, and
That's that guy too.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
around Lubbock area every year.
Yep.
It is
That-
not
yep.
cheap, that is for sure. But
I know a guy, so it wouldn't be super expensive for me.
well, that's good because I
Yeah.
go down with my brother every year, and we have gotten into the rhythm now. Well, it's my brother and a bunch of his Air Force buddies, where we like shooting geese for 2 days because we like to get a good body count, and then we go for crane to have the the whole ribeye in the sky thing, which is Mike can attest and Dave can attest is
Perfect. It is.
I am working on ideas, theories on how to hunt them at Pueblo Reservoir this year.
Maybe they like wool.
Well, when I'm paddling around, when I'm paddling around looking for ducks, they like to hang out in the rocks on the southern edges of the lake, and they fly off when you get within about 100 yards of them. So I'm wondering how to stalk them.
Use your
forget. Hang on.
permanent full choke shotgun.
Sorry. That too.
Like that's
What we
not
need to
outside
do-
the realm of taking a shot at it, honestly.
Have you seen them 2 years in a row yet, or is it just one?
Yeah.
Oh shit! What we need to do? Can you camp down there that time of year?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm thinking as I'm thinking ahead. I'm
Thinking out loud.
stream of consciousness here. We need to get down there and see what time they go to roost, because if they come roost, say in the early morning or something, we could already be in the rocks. Or worst case is then we try and hit them from the land side. If we can, they roost overnight before dawn, try and sneak up, and then as soon as it gets first light, pop.
Yeah, you and I should take a trip down there in the canoe, and we can row around there, and I can show you everywhere that I've.
Canoe.
Like,
Can I
we
be
come up
behind
with
you
a
in the-
plan?
Can I be
What?
behind you in the tandem canoe?
Depends on whether you want to do some canoodling.
Oh,
Oh.
fuck off.
I'm the big canoodle.
Oh.
Hey, I big canoodled Sean. I like a big canoodle you.
Don't rock the boat, or we're going to be wet canoodles.
So you're in Texas, in
Yeah.
the land of the high fence. So there's all kinds of private ranches down there that you can go buy a hunt for just about anything that you want.
Yep.
And a lot of people throw shade at high fence hunting or anything like that. And I'm still of the mindset that if you're new to hunting, especially if you're like older, not like a kid, but you're an adult, you've been around for a minute. If you're unsure about whether you want to hunt or not, it might be worth the money to get a high fence hunt where you have a guaranteed shot and you can just kind of go from there instead of like spending all this money on gear and trying to find a new place, and you're putting in for points, and then you get out there and you shoot something, and you're like, well, fuck, I didn't want to do that. That might be an option to look into, even if it's like a turkey or a pheasant hunt or like crane, like what you said.
Yeah.
Birds
It's
aren't real.
It's I don't know. It's one way to get into it without getting full on into it with spending the thousands of dollars in gear.
Yeah,
Eventually accumulate. So
yeah, I mean, just like everything else, right? Like that's not cheap.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like some of those ranches I drive by just every week, and they're huge. Like,
Yeah,
I understand the whole canned hunt thing, but those ranches are so big. Like,
oh yeah.
Well, I went down on one first time I ever went hunting down by Del Rio at Acorn Outfitters. Good ranch, no complaints there. Hunting for Outad, and yeah, we were there 3 days. Didn't see a damn thing. They tried their damn hard, but I mean, just because it was high fence doesn't mean the freaking Barbary sheep goat wandered in front of us the whole time.
Yeah.
There is a big difference between like those big ranches, those 8, 9, 20,000 acre ranches, and one that's like 640. It's a mile by mile. So you're going to have a shot at something, but we even have those up here in Colorado. There's a ranch in Salida that has a 100% chance of getting a shot on a bull elk. It also costs $6,000. So,
but how much meat are you gonna get? You know what I mean? It's almost
lot.
like exactly.
And that's kind of a luxury hunt. But
Yeah.
Mike,
but a lot
he
of
goes to. Sorry, go ahead.
No. So I was just gonna say a lot of the ranches around here will give you everything: the gun, the place to stay, food. You just show up with like clothes, and you're like, "Let's go!" And
It's like a golfing weekend, but for men.
yeah,
Some of them even have like their own bars and like open bars. All you gotta do is just be there, and then you get to drink their booze and eat their food, and like there's nothing wrong with it, honestly. And
Well, I mean, my brother's been on ones where they're in the what are those taller trucks called?
High rack.
Yeah, high rack. Where him and his wife are sitting in a high rack, and yeah, they just drive around till they corner a bunch of animals in a canyon, and they go, "All right, which one do you want to shoot?" And they're up in there in the back drinking beer, going, "Lindsay, shoot that one." All right, cool.
that was how the Impala hunt for us kids was. We drove around in the back of a Toyota Hilux, literally standing on top of the truck, just until the driver found a herd of Impala, and the guy that was up top with us, and he's like, "There, shoot that one." Okay, bang.
Just in a South African accent.
Mike's first hunt was in Africa, so
Asshole.
I mean, Air Force checks out.
And it was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
You know,
But-
honestly, the wool would be really nice inside the hotel rooms. You know, keep the airmen warm, because those AC units in the Air Force hotels, man, it gets cold.
tough life,
Right?
Mike actually, he goes to a place here in Colorado called Rocky Mountain Roosters, and it's a private pheasant ranch, and they actually go place birds for you, and you use a dog or your dog and whatever, and they'll flush birds and shoot birds. So you not 100% guaranteed a shot, but you will see birds, and it's decently priced.
It is decently priced. I can explain it just a tiny bit more, not to step on El Devo. They have a bunch of different plots of land that you can rent. And they have some big plots, they have some small plots, and you can buy up to you can buy 50 birds if you want to, put them on the plot, go out there, put them on a big plot, and you might not see a single bird. Put them on a medium plot, you'll see a lot more birds than on the big plot. And if you put them on a small plot, well, I'm not sure if they'll even like I don't know the rules specifically. I just know that there's different sizes of plots, and there's a number of birds that you can buy, and they'll go out there and they'll place the birds in the plot for you. It's your job to go find them. And yeah,
Unguided.
sometimes you can find them. Maybe you can find them, but you can't shoot them. Like you don't got a shot. It's still hunting. Even a high fence hunt is still hunting.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
It's not high fence getting unless the elk is inside a cage the size of our room where you paid $6,000 to go put this 30-year-old elderly elk out of its misery. It's just standing there like Herbert from Family Guy. Like, kill me.
I did want to say that the wool in our ponchos is extremely quiet. Like I said, I've had lots of hunters reach out and they're like, I won't wear anything else because everything else is too loud.
Oh, synthetic materials are terrible.
Yeah.
I wonder.
My freaking it's not a USGI poncho. It's a knockoff of one, but close enough. It's like walking around in sweatpants, or not sweatpants, like a tracksuit, and not the cool kind of like Slavic tracksuit where I'm like, I got the vibe going. It's like behind enemy lines, and I'm the bad guy. I'm Nico Bellic here. No, it's just noise. Yeah.
Some fleeces could be okay, but most synthetics are going to be pretty loud. And I've seen like premium tier hunting gear, and I used to work at a hunting store, and it's loud. I was like, how are you guys buying this jacket for $400 and it's that loud?
Because for no other reason. That's the thing. There's a lot of things. So gearing up for hunting. Oh yeah, you walk in like Shields around here, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to the fucking clearance rack and getting the Shields branded couple of shirts. And then this previous year, like these type of true spec these aren't the combat tops, these are like the fatigue tops. I wore those hunting because I'm sick of that lightweight material. You know, you're trying to go through a freaking thicket of willows. And you get snagged up and you're like, oh great, I got a fucking hole in my $40 shirt. That fucking done with that shit. But hell no, half of the hunting clothing industry is as bad as the shooting clothing industry and every other kind of freaking clothing industry in the world. It's this shirt is made in this specific Sitka camo pattern that nobody else makes, or this shirt was worn by Steven Ranella. So therefore it costs $200 more than it should.
Yeah. I'm working on a solution to some of that stuff. Kind of in line with the BDU style tops that you were saying that you've been wearing. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love these.
Yeah,
I think I have 8 of them. It's kind of a problem.
A lot of the hunting gear stuff nowadays is a name game and camo patterns. That's it.
Yeah, that Sitka. I mean, I have it in my my Mystery Ranch pack, because if I'm going to buy a Mystery Ranch pack, it costs the same to get the Gucci camo pattern as the OD green. I won't get the Gucci camo pattern, but yeah.
I'd say a good 40% of hunting clothing is casual camo. That's like the stuff that somebody's going to buy because it was like, hell yeah, I hunt sometimes, and I'm going to go grocery shopping. But I want to wear this.
I'm hunting half the time in old OCP pants and
That's
Tiger, like OCP pants that of my own, and Tiger Stripe that I went and bought.
I knew you guys were cool. So
not ABUs. You should hunt in the ABUs. Sir.
ABUs. I threw all of my I had to make sure I was saying the right acronyms. I threw all of my ABUs out.
Travesty.
So for people who are not,
ABUs were a travesty.
For people who are not
my
nerds
BDUs.
like us, ABUs were the Air Force. Mike, you explain it. You're the Air Force guy. What the hell
pull
am I
it up.
talking about this?
All right. So before the ABUs, the Air Force had the BDU, which was the battle dress uniform, which is basically the service camouflage uniform for most of the services at that point. Marines were, I think, even still wearing it. The Navy was wearing it. And then right around like the mid 2000s or something like that. I think it was probably Iraq, honestly, that drove the push. We drove away from.
It was the Marines who did it. The Marines did
separated out.
their digital camo pattern first, and then the Army and everybody else had to play catch up to look cool like the Marines did.
That sounds about right. Marines went to Marpat, and then so the Army was like, well, we're still running around in our chocolate chips, which is what the desert camouflage, the DCUs were called. So the Army was like, we're still running around in chocolate chips, and they got this Marpat. This is bullshit, because the Marines were running around in a digital or a digital tan camouflage too for the desert. So it pissed everybody off. So the Joint Services went and decided that the Army needed a new uniform, came out with the ACU, which was absolute dog shit trash, didn't camouflage them from anything. Everybody hated it, and the Army was like, look what we did, yay! So then the Air Force, looking at our perfectly good BDUs, except for the fact we had to iron them and polish the boots, that was all bullshit. But anyway, aside from those things, the uniform was beautiful. I liked it. So then right before we go to Afghanistan, the Army's like, or the Air Force is like, all right, we're finally getting our new uniforms. Say hello to the ABU. And we're like, this is like ACU, but different steps. The fuck is this?
A waste of a perfectly good tiger stripe pattern with those horrible gray-green colors.
Great pattern, complete shit, wrong colors. Honestly.
They were 30 years ahead of their time. It was for the moon. It was camouflage for the moon.
It's camouflage for the flight line. You know what? You lay down on the, you know what it works great for? Where are all the maintainers? Can't see them because they're camouflaged in their freaking uniforms.
Maybe it'll blend in Iran.
That's why nobody's working on these goddamn airplanes. They're all camouflaged.
It could be worse. You could be the Navy.
It's like going to Lowe's.
Which at the same time decided they were going to dress sailors in blue camouflage. That way, if you fall into the ocean, they can't see you.
This is how they sold us on the ABU.
Mike, shut the fuck up.
It's like going to Lowe's and having your wife which color white do you want? And holding up 4 swatches that all look the same to you, and then making a camo out of that.
You're not wrong.
So
you may go, Mike.
This is how they sold it. To be clear, the ABU was exactly the same colors as the ACU, except the pattern was way cooler. It was still, it wasn't the same fabric, and it wasn't the same uniform even. It was more like BDUs, but with cooler yet also extremely stupid camouflage. They sold it to us. They were like, oh, and I don't mean sold it as in made us pay for it. They sold it as in, oh, you'll like it. Well, it's like pajamas. You don't have to iron it. You don't have to polish the boots. Like, you never have to. You just wash and wear, man. And then you saw where that got us. Basically, dudes wash and wore their uniforms until they looked like those 4 white splotches Vince was talking about. Like, where is the discernment in the camo pattern? How many times did you bleach this, dude? Yeah.
You took that personally. I'm glad I let you discuss that, not me.
When we were issued our OCPs to go to Afghanistan in 19, I was so happy.
You're so old. I thought you were about to say 1990 something.
Before OCP was invented.
Hey, he's mad at
right?
Yeah, but now everything's multicam or LCP, and now it's just boring.
That's what the helmet's for, the time travel.
Makes sense.
Well, have I showed you the ABUs I dyed black, Mike? Sorry, you sold all yours. It's the only way to make it look good.
What do you mean sold?
Oh, threw it away. Whatever.
I
may have given you that pair because when I got fat,
I think you might have.
All my mediums.
Yeah. Because the Afghan the tan pants fit me. I don't know if they were Afghan, but
no, that's only the tops. I got like 4 of the tops that were contracted for Afghanistan that never made it because 2020 happened, or was that 2021? Whatever. Anyway,
Yes.
we're way off track.
So anyway, OCPs are
normal.
awesome.
This is
The
my kind of
ABU is
autism.
trash. ACUs are trash, and get
we
your shit
decided-
together, DoD.
We started off this podcast as when we were first discussing it, and I will admit a lot of it was me talking about, we've got to make sure we kind of like apply ourselves to a certain audience, and that audience might expect XYZ. And then we actually started doing it, and then it turns out that trying to fit within like a structure, and that's boring as all hell.
Uh-huh. I'm
But
glad
we're
you
not
came around.
copying, but we're not copying We Like Shooting step for step either, so we're good.
The first 30 episodes were a fucking stressful nightmare.
We should release. I should go back and if I have it, of the very first episode we recorded and threw away. I should release that.
Oh, because
bonus
our audio
episode.
was shit.
No. That one was fine. Audio was shit, but the humor was there. I'm
Yeah.
talking. So I guess the first
Genuine.
official one we recorded, where we were retelling the same stories we just told the week before, and it was like, oh god,
It was forced.
That was awful.
It was
Never ever again.
It was not a good time,
no.
but it is a good time now. Vince,
hang on, wait. It's been an hour and 10 minutes. Ringo Starr, are you still with us, or do you need to head out?
Oh no, I'm good. We could chill.
Okay, good. I realized that in a more well-structured and professional podcasts, they usually find out how long the guest is good to stay for. We just railroad you until you fall asleep,
No, I'm good.
like
We're
we
chill.
did with that poor bastard in Australia.
Didn't
be fair,
we
that was
podcast until we?
self-inflicted.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was actually more accurate to say that we podcasted until we were falling asleep.
yeah,
We literally podcasted my computer to death.
I forgot
And
about that.
Dave's.
what a great day that was. I was in God mode that day, sir, because I was in an empty hotel office.
Wait, no.
About that.
Somebody else's stuff started failing too. Either way,
Anyway,
it was noon, and it was noon in Australia, and he'd had a 6-pack by the time we were done. So
Yeah, he was ready to roll, and we're like, "I'm fucking dying here. It's 1 a.m."
yeah,
Yeah, that was fun.
Dave, go
Vince.
ahead.
Would you care to ask a few questions for our esteemed guest? I mean, obviously not all of them will apply, but
no, not all of them will apply, but there is a couple here that I know. I can do.
indeed.
We have some standard questions that we ask our guests. And so I'm going to start off with this one. You seem to be kind of a gun guy. Is that right?
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
try to be anyway. So
Right. So if you had to go into bear country, and we're talking grizzly bears here, and you could only carry a handgun, what would you carry and what would it be chambered in?
huh? Oh, I'm pretty sure my friends are gonna give me shit about this one. I don't know. I live in Texas. Like, I got to worry about the other kind of bears, not like grizzly bears. Like,
I'm sure there's high fence bear hunts down there.
it's called what is it? 7th Street in Austin. That's what it's
Yeah.
called.
Keep it weird.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just stalling so I can find an answer, but I don't know. No, I'm pretty sure one of my buddies is always talking about 454 Casull because you can load black powder into it and kind of have that like.
Probably
As-
he's thinking 45 Colt.
Oh, I know that one for sure. But I feel
Okay.
like he's always talking about that because you could do multiple loadings out of it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I've not
Pretty
heard of
sure.
anyone putting black powder in, but at the same time,
Maybe he
I'm
wants to
pretty
make a
sure
hand
Why you
grenade.
couldn't.
no, I'm pretty sure you probably, if it's a 454 Casull, you probably can't hand grenade that gun with
Right.
black powder. But somebody should try and send pics.
Yeah.
Look, it's whenever they switched over to smokeless powder, they started blowing guns up, not the other way around. So
Well, yeah, that's true.
Fair.
Actually, yeah.
I mean, the only way that I know, so I have a couple black powder revolvers. The only thing that you avoid with those is leaving an air gap between the powder and the ball. As long as it's compressed, I mean, you could probably theoretically blow the gun up, but it's not going to pipe bomb in your face.
Well,
So-
and if you do load your 454 with black powder, it'll make a nice, ball of smoke out the end of the barrel, and that way, when the grizzly bear gets to you, it can emerge, dramatically through a veil of smoke.
No,
Make
it's
sure-
an escape tactic. Escape
Yes,
tactic.
exactly. I was going to go that route.
Make sure it's
Yeah.
got that little stick that comes out the barrel when the whole gun explodes. It just comes out with just enough force to go bang.
I like
The little
Vince's
flag
version.
thing.
Yeah,
I like
well,
Vince's version where if you get it on camera, at least your death is going to look cinematic.
It's too bad Timothy Chalamet or whatever the hell his
Fred
name. Yeah,
Timothy Chalamet. They go find him after the bear attack and go, well, son of a bitch, there's nothing of him left. He was too skinny. Bear ate him up.
Willy Wonka tastes like chocolate.
Lisa Hagaib got out by Al Guy Baird.
pilot flies over and says he saw the bear like chewing on a human bone. Gets down there and Timothy Chalamet's like, "Why hasn't somebody helped me?"
I will say-
Someone yell cut.
454 Cthulhu is a very solid grizzly bear choice.
Yes, it is.
You better make sure your
Excellent,
forearm's
excellent choice.
solid too.
Definitely.
All right,
solid forearm.
So yeah, you've told us you haven't done any real hunting, but you've thought about it. So I won't say what's your dream hunt, but what's the thing that's had your attention the most? When
To be honest, I've always like I told y'all earlier, I worked at a hunting store right after high school, and I got into archery real big.
Mhm.
So archery hunting, javelina or boar down here in Texas has always been on my list to do. So
Oh,
Nice.
yeah,
that'd be a blast.
yeah.
Unless you do what Stephen Ornella did, which was cook javelina in its own stomach. Like that's metal at the same time, like
that's
Dude.
disrespectful.
I'm gonna
Like,
cook
isn't
you
that
in you.
haggis?
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that some Scottish like nonsense? Like,
I mean, sure. I was just trying to remember. I saw that episode years ago,
Yeah.
and all I remember is what came out of the stomach. Well, first of all, it got like a burned, all freaking stomach's all burned black and shit, and then what came out was just like, well, I guess if you had to eat it, but I bet you could have done that better.
This is steamed javelina.
Like, why did we ask the Scottish how to prepare this?
Well, yes, I will have some steamed mini screaming pig.
the Scottish are well known for their culinary skills. So
Have
makes
you
They're right
ever-
up there with the
entrails?
Brits, man.
The Scottish are as known for their culinary skills as the British are. In fact, the British have culinary skills so good they have the world's best sailors.
that's
And
right.
God,
Mike, you please.
To quote Jeremy Clarkson, it's like a Scottish menu. Not much in it and nothing you want.
All right.
I lost the joke, my bad.
Yeah.
But it's still funny.
All right.
In my
Last
head.
one. If you could hunt any one dinosaur, what would it be and what would you hunt it with?
Son of a bitch.
All the pressure's on now.
Oh man, I don't know. I
Just
I don't
take
have the
breath and
dinosaur
just repeat
autism.
so we can go to bed.
I don't know. I've talked about like changing up the question a little bit. I've talked about doing alligator because we have that in Texas. That's kind of a dinosaur. So,
Same
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, I could hunt a chicken. They come from dinosaurs too. So.
Alligators
we theorized-
outlasted dinosaurs. Alligators are more metal than dinosaurs.
Yeah.
We have theorized that the reason everything tastes like chicken is because they all actually just taste like dinosaur.
I haven't thought about it like that.
Like chickens,
We have.
alligators, pretty much everything. Like that, it all kind of just tastes like chicken. Well, that's because it all came from dinosaurs, and they all just taste like Velociraptor.
Interesting.
It's been a bitch trying to get this T-Rex to 165 on the rotisserie.
What you make for dinner tonight? Oh, a little beer can velociraptor.
I gotta wake up at 2 a.m. to go smoke this apatosaur. Oh, how long is that gonna take? I should be ready in the next 3-4 years.
That's a big fire. That's a big fire.
Just
It's
shove
a
a
big-
lightning rod up its ass. That way it gets struck by lightning, cook it from the inside out.
So
Next thunderstorm comes by.
Still takes 3 years.
to give you an example, mine is Triceratops with 300 Win Mag because I want to hunt a horny cow with my 300 Win Mag.
Yeah.
Mine was a Stegosaurus, and I forget what gun it was.
I
I
can't
just remember it
remember.
was a Stego.
That was
I-
probably
I
my
think it
favorite
was-
dinosaur growing up. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we've all collectively decided T-Rex is an acceptable answer, but it's too like generic of an answer.
Yeah, you're gonna hunt a T-Rex with a Marlin 4570 because that's what it says on their website.
yeah.
Thanks, Chris Pratt.
I think
He
mine
never
was-
even shot the damn T-Rex. He just looked.
He shot at the T-Rex, but it did nothing.
How did he miss?
he didn't miss. Dinosaurs are bulletproof
Obviously.
on film, at least. I mean, on camera, they're bulletproof.
See, they're
Yeah,
doing it
that's
all
true,
wrong.
Chris.
Obviously, the tranquilizer darts is the way to get them. You just use a tranquil kill you dart.
Except for they screwed that up too, because in the book Jurassic Park, the freaking trank gun is a bazooka.
Fair.
I mean, if you
It
wanted
is.
to spin it and go fishing for a dinosaur instead, you could.
I would do that. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh no, this is a spin on both my selection and Dave's idea about turkey hunting. Mine was archery hunting velociraptors,
That's
but we actually found out from Mike's brother, who is a game warden there in Colorado, that it is perfectly not against the law to archery hunt turkey using bow fishing equipment.
Yep.
So mixing those two, it'd be taking your bow fishing equipment out there and spearing a velociraptor and then holding on for dear life.
And then once you reel it in, have a shotgun on the side because you're going to need it.
No, that's where my weeb skills come into play, and I just whip out my katana and
Oh,
just-
I'm gonna fucking mute you.
Sir, I've seen your katana. It's this long.
you leave my katana out of this. It did nothing to you.
I gave it to
It's
you.
not the size of the katana, it is how you wield it.
Did you stick that in the front of your car yet?
Did I stick the katana in the front of my car yet?
Yeah, you're supposed to plant it.
No, I honestly haven't decided whether I'm going to put it in the Prado or the Skyline.
Okay, acceptable.
Because I think it might be cooler in the Skyline. So when, like in the Prado, if I put it in the Prado and the airbag goes off, that's going to go in my eyeball probably. At least the Skyline doesn't have any airbags.
I was worried there for a minute that Mike wasn't catching on that Sam meant an actual katana, not an ironic one.
That was the
No.
joke. Good
Yes, I know.
job, sir.
I caught on. He was talking about the little toy katana he gave me that
I got it for the
Prado.
Secret Santa thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was about to say white elephant. Wrong gift convention. No, I got it for Secret Santa thing. It's a little letter
Right.
opener.
The Krampus.
Yeah, you go shing. You can do drive-bys with it, but you reach out and you whack the guy on the motorcycle with it.
And he's like, that was a mild inconvenience. Why would one do such a thing?
And then you swerve and run him over.
It would be more hassle to call the police on this, so I'm just going to let it go. But what an inconvenience. Seriously. How unkind.
I guess we forgot to ask you, Ringo. Do you fish?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
We do.
Well,
bass fishing, catfishing. Those are the main two, but crappie, whatever. So
We're gonna have
Yeah.
to have you back on to discuss other outdoor activities.
yeah,
We are a hunting, fishing, and outdoors podcast. Like, we talk about our camping. We just don't do a lot of it as much as we'd like to.
Model ships, airplanes,
Pop culture,
guns,
movies.
anything and everything.
yeah.
Did you
Since
say
the
boobies or movies?
Gardening.
yes,
Yes, they're both very nice.
yeah. But since we
Wouldn't-
kind of got busy with 5-star, we haven't really gone fishing in a while. Some of the places I stay at while I'm traveling, like just right now, there's a lake like 2 blocks, a block and a half away.
Oh,
Every time I walk over there, just like on a little evening walk, I see just fish, like just chilling, and I'm like, I want to go fishing.
I don't have water for 60 miles from me.
What about the? Oh, I guess the reservoir is 60 miles from you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
Shit.
That sucks.
I was supposed to go on a guided striper trip in Lake Texoma 3
Mhm.
weeks ago, but Lake Texoma currently has about 20 extra feet of water in it that it's not supposed to have, and they're like, yeah, no, the restaurant at the marina is 2 feet underwater. Like, no one's fishing anywhere.
Yeah, we did a guided striper fish in Texoma maybe 20 years ago, and it was probably my best fishing memory. Just the amount of action, it was nonstop. Boom, 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 boom for hours. It was almost like you got tired of catching fish after a while, which you didn't, but
We haven't gotten it yet where we're like just hitting them that much, but we've had some good times out there.
I went on a guided vets hunting or fishing trip last year on the lake. One of the lakes, 11 Mile. The dude knew what he was doing, had us out there, had dropped some hooks down. The downriggers didn't really do shit, but everything he put in the surface. We caught a bunch of trout and eventually a pike that way.
nice.
And it got me thinking, like, Sam, I want to get back out there in the boats and just go out where we were.
When I get
See what happens.
So when we get back from GunCon, I got a crap ton of work to get done before I go back on vacation again, because I don't have a real job. But I think once we get in August, ooh yeah, hop the coon out there. I don't want to put a motor on it because I don't want to have to register it. So we're gonna have to paddle like madmen. But we are gonna troll that lake in a tandem canoe, and we are not going to drown. It'll be
Well,
perfect.
Wait, what if the
we did it
motor's
and
not attached?
we already
thought
did it
about
with
that.
shotguns. We're good.
I already thought about that. I thought about not attached. I thought, but at the end of the day, I think just 2 kayak paddles, just bum, 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 or even 1 really, it'd be fine.
Don't
It's
throw
not
a
that
drag
big of a
net
lake.
behind you.
Okay, so since you're a fisherman, I'm gonna spin on Vince's question. What's your dream fishing trip?
Probably smallmouth, somewhere up north. Champlain is a number that, or a place that always comes up, or Lake Erie, where you could drop tubes down in 60 foot of water and actually see them eat the damn thing that deep.
Oh,
And then you got to do the little needle decompress when you bring them up from that deep. And
uh-huh.
yeah, that's what I want to do.
Nice.
Yeah. So being from Texas, we don't really have that much clear water. Like we used to have Amistad, and what's the other big one down there? Falcon, I want to say. They used to be real clear, and probably 20 years they haven't been, just from all the flooding and stuff. So we don't have clear water down here. So to go somewhere like that, where not only is it August and 80 degrees, which that's impossible, but just to have water you could actually see the fish in, like, yeah.
You see your bait actually wiggling around in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's so
that'd
much
be
boat
cool.
traffic on those areas that they see the boat and they don't care. they're going to eat their little tube because it looks like a what is that invasive fish? You know what I'm talking about.
Northern snakehead.
No, like they're like invasive in the Great Lakes, and they're like 6 inches long, 4 to 6 inches
Canadians.
long. Something.
They're actually looking for stuff. I'm just coming up with bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I could talk y'all's ears off, but I don't want to be like rude and be like, "Hey, it's your podcast," but I'm gonna talk the whole time. So
Oh man, we
You're-
love
yes,
when
that's
people
what you're
talk all
here
the time.
for, so we don't have to
You're a
talk for like. I put a helmet on.
Okay,
We
when
heard Mike go for 10 minutes about a camo pattern.
yeah, but I was interested in that. I was like, yeah.
That's the thing. The only reason we do this is because we get to talk about whatever the hell we want, or we don't get to talk at all. It's like when
Yeah.
Dave and I were running, just the two of us, we had Ty on. He's like, "Am I talking too much?" It's like, "No, please talk more."
Oh, my favorite thing about the camo pattern, by the way, was
Oh,
regardless of what camo pattern you wear, when you go over to the sandbox, and even if you're on a base inside the wire, they're like, all right, that's some really, really cool, nifty, great camouflage you guys are wearing. Uh-oh, the sun went down. Here, put on this shiny reflective belt.
I need to add that to the ponchos.
Actually,
PT belt to the ponchos.
Yeah.
you bring that up,
Please
and
don't.
I was wearing my camo hoodie one day at work, and we were out doing something on the road, so I had to put on my high vis vest over my camo hoodie. And my buddy I worked with is like, "Do you want to be seen or not?" I'm like, fair.
They balance each other out
Okay.
to where you're back to right in the middle.
High vis yellow road worker poncho.
Hmm.
I
Look,
had
I'm high
somebody
vis,
ask for
low
one.
drag. All right.
Yeah, I had somebody ask for one. I can't find yellow wool, but I could still do something, you know.
I'll do the same deal with the blaze orange.
Don't
It'll
eat
be
the
a
yellow
panel.
wool.
Yeah, I'm definitely writing that one down for sure. So, I mean, so one of the things I've learned in business is that you want to do something in a certain amount of time. Well, you could either triple that or quadruple it because you're never going to have time to get it done.
Mhm.
So it's actually made me learn like not just patience, but like when I see companies and I'm like, man, I really want them to do this. Okay, well, I need to wait 2 years because that's how long it takes for anybody to do anything. Anytime a company releases something, they've probably been working on that for several months to several years.
Yeah.
That every day they show up and they're like, okay, we got to tweak this, and we got to design that, and blah blah blah. And
That's
How
a really
long-
good perspective to have because I think from the consumer standpoint, a lot of us look at it, and I honestly did as well until you said that. A lot of us look at it kind of like almost with the mentality that these marketing guys like, I've really got no ideas. I got nothing to do. Man, I sure wish my customers would come up to me with ideas of something to do because I'm fucking clueless.
yeah,
No, they've been working on shit. They know what they're doing.
Well, unless you're Palmetto State.
Sig.
Fair.
Oh,
don't get me started.
It's like, you said that. It's like, yeah, how long did us night vision nerds wait for HoloSudden to come out with an IR laser unit?
Years.
And they were always like, we're gonna show it at SHOT Show this year. We're gonna talk about it at SHOT Show, and like that's 5 years ago. And then finally they came out with it. It's like, whoa,
Yeah.
too late now.
Yeah. We already bought all our stuff. We don't need it. Thank you. Maybe a second or a third unit I might, but yeah, I already have my main unit. So
Now that's what Somo gear is for. So you never actually shoot it, but it looks the part
and it looks really cool. Yeah, exactly.
until you do shoot it. And like mine, the freaking laser wanders 11 inches inside of 400
believe it.
rounds.
But like people have been asking me for like traditional style cloaks since the beginning. And I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and that could be a help and a hindrance in some aspects, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And like, I'm trying to combine the two worlds, right? Like I want something practical yet looks badass and fits the niche that I'm in. And I'm finally getting around to what I feel is comfortable, that we could go out into the boonies and then the sticks and do all the stuff we do. So those are coming. A freaking year after people have been asking, but it finally
No, you're good. You can finish your thought. I just was doing this so I don't forget my thought.
Is
Yeah.
that the
No, this wasn't like, oh, let me interrupt you. It was just like, oh, yeah, while I'm thinking about
Sam
it.
doesn't have breaking news or anything. You can keep going.
Breaking news. Iran just nuked New York City. Oops.
So anyway,
Aw.
Ringo,
Anyway,
Oh,
Yeah,
no. Anyway.
and then the camo question, we talked about that. But yeah, cloaks. We're gonna do a little bit of a redesign on the hood. We're gonna add a different little mechanism to close it up on your chest so it can sit above your plate carrier. I probably hit the mic, my bad, but the
No, you're
plate
good.
carrier, and it actually function and feel good and be strong enough to wear over a plate carrier. Because again, that's kind of the niche that we have. One
yeah.
thing I did want to bring up, this is officially announced, so we're just kind of waiting on some of the back end stuff. But a company, Buffalo Wool Company, is owned by a man named Ron. He reached out to me, and basically his deal is that it's all American made. So all the buffalo wool, it's like buffalo hair, buffalo fibers, they
Ooh.
mixed with merino, all American, and then spin it and make fabric out of it. So
Uh-huh.
he's mainly known for socks, but he also works with small shops like myself to do like limited runs of specialized whatever it is, a jacket, a vest, or whatever. And he reached out, and so we're gonna do buffalo wool ponchos pretty soon.
oh,
that's
Dibs.
really cool.
Yeah,
all you
Yeah.
fuckers, I got dibs.
yeah.
Anyway, what I had
I-
thought of, and this was, hang on, sorry, before I forget. I think Sean will be like shooting and brought this up, or somebody had. So if you're wandering through the woods, see, I hit my mic. See, nobody cares. Especially down in Texas though, because you've got some nasty ass stickers. How much does the wool pick those up, or pretty good? Like,
So as far as like picking up the stickers go, if you're gonna lay down in it, like yeah, it'll probably pick some up. Walking
doomed.
by, really not that big of a deal. But we also have like I don't even know what they're called. They got thorns on them like 2 inches long, and
yeah,
then we also have like mesquite brush it's just
Mhm.
stickers is all it is. And we've literally just walked straight through the mesquite brush and it's fine. So
Yeah. that's what I kind of figured. But
yeah. So
I
I've
figured it was
had
worth bringing
one customer reach out and be like, "Hey, I ripped a hole in your poncho, but it was my fault, and I did it with." I think he said he was cutting firewood, and I don't know how, but he got the axe into the poncho. And are you okay? And he was like, "Yeah, I'm good, but I had to mend your poncho." And I was like, "Okay." So,
You're welcome.
Better
Yeah.
For your
poncho
safety.
than him.
yeah, for real. I actually
So-
had another guy reach out and said that they had a campfire accident where somebody threw something into it, and
Love that.
apparently it wasn't empty, and so it exploded. But he was wearing the poncho, and because it's wool, it basically just like was
it'll
fine.
singe it. It'll smell pretty good for a few days.
Yeah,
It'll smell like burnt hair.
I'm a
yeah,
camp
but
firefighter.
it's good.
So, despite me going on about, marketing idea guys having absolutely nothing to do in their spare time or the time that they're paid to come up with marketing ideas, here's my marketing idea. You come up with a cloak and you get with PSA and they sell the dagger and you guys do the cloak and the dagger.
Oh shit, that's really cool, actually.
God damn it, he had a good one.
Yeah, no, I'm an avowed PSA hater, and I'll stand by that. So, but that's actually a really good idea.
Just get
I
with
have
the
a
knife
dagger
company.
blower. I haven't
yeah,
shot it
that's
yet.
what I was thinking. Just the
Noble
Knife
knife design, cloak and dagger.
There you go. We could do like a
Yeah, that's a better.
collab.
Yeah, you're right.
Also, he hates daggers, but
knives or daggers. Like
yeah, it's just a one-sided dagger.
only the autists like us can actually tell you the difference, though.
Hmm.
I don't know who you're calling autistic right now.
I'm the most normal person left, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I'm the most normal person, right? So
Oh shit, we are arranging the screen like that. It makes Dave's the most normal centerist.
I was calling you a commie.
You know how badly I wanted to load the Soviet national anthem into this keyboard? I'll do it.
The Soviets had a national anthem. They had time to pay people to sing.
Pay.
Have you never heard of it?
Ooh, yeah,
It's like
fair.
the best song in the world. You don't know what they're saying, which is probably for the best. I know they say something about the Grand Party of Lenin, but other than that, you're just like,
Is that like that Ukrainian rock song that everybody's like, yeah, I love this beat, and then this Ukrainian girl listens to it and she's like,
I don't know. Ukrainians aren't real.
But we can't see your
Were you,
face, right?
Yeah, were you making an expression?
Like,
We
that's
see
part
Blue
of the
Visor.
fun.
Also,
Yeah, behind that big astronaut helmet.
Nobody in the audio can see the helmet or hear the expression, so you do the expression for the audio listeners.
Oh,
That's true. Nobody actually watches YouTube anymore. They just
Yeah.
put it on, the phone
Yeah.
stand and walk away to do chores. So
well, and
That's why
everybody
we're on
who
Rumble.
pretty much watches live is on Rumble. We leave YouTube open because occasionally somebody stumbles through, but we've pretty much bullied them all into Rumble because that
That's
way
why
we
it's
can
called
show
Rumble,
guns.
because you stumble on Rumble.
Mike, you look like the girl robot off of Wally.
Wally.
he does actually.
Plant?
Alrighty then.
Plant.
Well,
But yeah,
Well.
we're going to be getting into some other stuff real fast, real soon. It took us an hour and 40 minutes for me to say, hey, there's more stuff coming soon. So
oh, that's fine. That's how this usually goes.
yeah.
It takes us an hour and 40 minutes usually to get around to what we actually were supposed to talk about. And by that time, it's like, half of us are falling asleep. The other half really have to go to the bathroom. So it's like, you know what? We'll just see you next week.
ballistic 2A wizard hats.
Well,
I'm kind of into this.
was it Oh, I can't even pronounce them.
Yeah, I haven't been able to pronounce
Whatever.
it either.
But they made one. They made a wizard hat that was like, a multicam in Flecktarn in
I
a
think
bunch of
a
patterns.
dozen different colors. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Neato.
Turn sounds.
Mike, you should buy
wizard than
one.
the rest.
I wish they would DM me on Instagram or something. I would love to work with them and we could do something, but we'll see.
Well, we'll use our Instagram poll to make that happen.
Oh yeah, we'll get right on that.
Well,
Alrighty. Well, I think that should just about wrap it up then. Hour and 42 minutes. That's pretty good.
I think
Ringo,
so,
where can
too.
people find your lovely cloaks or ponchos?
5staralterations.com. It's
Wait,
all
wait,
one
wait.
word.
Dr. Scary Guy, warning, do not integrate wizard hat into poncho.
I don't have enough melanin in my skin to wear that. Yeah,
Is-
you're right.
In the
Is the
new
show-
snow camo.
Is the show title Tacticlan in poor taste?
Tacticlan
do?
with the K.
Is what you do is you combine with Krishuki, whatever the name is, and you call it the Grand Wizard combo.
Oh man.
Or Dragon, or Grand Dragon, whatever. It's there.
Yeah.
So back to the original question before that derailed tragically.
5-star alterations. I'll tell you the story behind the name. My
Oh, yeah.
buddy came up with that because I was like, "What am I supposed to call my company?" And Star's been my nickname for I don't know how many years and years. And he was like, "Why don't you call it 5-star alterations?" Because at the beginning, I was doing alterations. I was doing like raid mods on BDU tops where you like move the pockets to the arms and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And I haven't done a raid mod in a very long time. It's just been poncho. So,
Because OCPs come with pockets on the arms now.
yeah, exactly. So I can't really make a business off of raid mods. But
Can you move my pocket on my arm to a slightly different place on my arm?
yeah, of course.
Well, they take the ones off the chest and slide them over. So, like, if you got the surplus store that Mike and I go to, they sell just standard BDU tops of like the tiger stripe. So if you want to get the tiger stripe to raid mod, then you got to have somebody freaking resew it and all that shit. Anyway,
And that it sucks, dude. Ripping all those stitches. It's not the sewing that sucks. It's the ripping the stitches.
Ripping
Like-
stitches.
You could sit there for an hour ripping stitches and just be like, "Oh, cool, that was one pocket out of 4." Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So
You ever just get mad and Fuck.
yeah, to my own, and then I was like, "Well, shit." So,
There goes $30. Well,
but
This
Five
is a
Star
smaller
Alterations
pocket.
has links to all the social medias, and we're growing like crazy. We're super busy, but I mean, I answer. So the company's me and my wife. So anytime you're talking to someone online, whether it's email, DM, no, it doesn't matter the app. It's me. You're talking to me. So I take that very personal. Kind of another side anecdote. I know we're trying to close out, but
oh, you're good.
oh no, take your
I
time.
remember texting Lucas at T-Rex Arms like 6 or 7 years ago, just like a stupid reply to a story or something. And
Mhm.
he replied and we had a whole conversation. And I was like, I'm fucking nobody. And this guy's talking to me. And ever since then, I was like, that's who I'm gonna be. So every time somebody DMs, it's my phone pings. I don't care if I'm sewing or driving. Well, I'm legally I'm not allowed to say that, but yeah.
I,
But I
You
have
know,
links
the
to all the
thing is
socials
not-
on there.
We're all nobody to somebody, so
Mhm.
Exactly.
I tagged Lucas on Instagram one time and he did reply. I don't think he was very happy about it. When they made that, so I like the tap chest rig. I've had one for a little over a year now, and it's like, I've fucked around with a bunch of other chest rigs. I like that one. And they came out with their version of it. And he came on Instagram, was like, you could put a plate in the back of ours. You can't do that with the tap. And I went out to my garage because I had actually done it before and went, was holding the phone out. Oops. He messaged me back, oh, I didn't know it could do that. It's like, yeah, it can do that. And he took it down, but I was just like, yes. Also, I got him to reply one time because I accused them of hyping up ACOGs with red dot stacks right before Black Friday when they all went on sale. He was like, yeah, well, of course we only sell where we sell products that sell. It's like, yeah, but you spent the last month saying LPVOs suck. And I'm on to you. Anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's fun when actual like people behind companies reply instead of it just being so like we work with we don't work with it, well, kind of. I don't know what you'd call it. We're buddies with an optic company and their marketing guy listens to the show sometimes and he's a hoot. So it's fun when you
He's a
get to
blast.
actually talk to a person and not just like a corporate robot.
he's on the other end of their emails too. So like when he emails back, it's actually a human.
Mhm.
They're honestly great to work with.
And that's what
Anyway.
I want to be. So I want to be that and continue to be that and still
Yeah.
make semi-custom. That's what I kind of like to call it because you kind of get to pick some of the options and make it by hand. So
That's awesome.
With a needle and a thread and a thimble, huh?
Look, he's in the chat here. Is Gideon Optics?
nice.
Oh, is it
Speaking,
there? Is Sam a troll in real life? No, sir, I do not live under a bridge.
also he is
he's
taller than you expect.
Yes, he's that ugly in real life, Bob. Sorry.
Ugly. We've already agreed. And your opinions didn't matter. I'm the most handsome one here.
Vince has the best beard, so
That's true.
That is
he's
true.
+2 on everybody.
I mean, only if you're into them, though.
I'm not, so
Speaking of Gideon Optics, if you want 10% off, use coupon code MOIST.
Oh, I saw his reaction live. It was perfect.
That's really cool.
Also, if you want some nice camo, camerado.com. Use coupon code Let's Go Hunt.
Real quick on the camerado.com. I've been wearing the sun shirts a lot lately because
Do you
I'm a-
wash them?
yes, I washed them.
Okay.
Thank you for derailing me. Been wearing them a lot because they've actually been keeping me from getting sunburned. They're quite phenomenal. So if you're of the Viking blood, as I
You Portuguese son of a bitch.
I have a Portuguese last name and Viking blood. Bite me.
Yeah, that's why you're so
Red
pale.
hair.
Ginger.
That's a
Thinking of the Vikings and
slur, I think.
as Mike's ancestors makes me think of the wolves looking forward into the future at a pug. Like we made a mistake. Because Mike sits here in his spaceman helmet.
This dog has forgot how to bark. It just goes ah.
Oh man.
Oh Jesus. Well, I think that about sums it up.
Well, thanks for coming on, Ringo.
Yes.
For sure. Thanks for having me, guys.
that was
Thanks
a
for
blast.
putting up with our nonsense.
Absolutely.
I told
Can't-
you it'd be a good time. Actually, I don't
Can't
think I told you
wait.
that. I think I mostly told you that it might be a bad time.
You said that it was a long shot and that y'all weren't that cool. And I'm pretty sure those were the two things you said.
Something like that. Anywho,
So we lived up to it. Yeah, you'll definitely be getting an order from me because
me
I
too.
have a chili elk hunt coming up, and I
once
want
we
some
get out of
cool-
the summer, though,
yeah,
because I saw him like, ooh, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, the coyote looking one, if that ever comes in stock, that'd be fun for duck hunting.
Yeah, the tan one we're looking at doing probably the end of next month is what I'm hoping. That's taken a little bit longer to get. So here pretty soon we're going to have multiple colors available pretty much at all times, and then we'll just drop in, once a month or so, twice a month, whatever, different colors. But yeah, that's coming. That's going to be a part of the big order where we're going to have a bunch to have us, several months out. So
nice.
I'm torn between the dark brown and the OD green.
Definitely
Which means I'm just
poncho
going
of
to
the
end up with
desert.
both.
It has to be desert.
If you do the dark brown and you kill a beaver and sling it over your shoulder, you won't be able to see it.
Ooh,
as
you're
well.
right. There'll be contrast.
Yeah,
That's got to be the green then. Fair
Yep.
enough.
see, making sense.
hell yeah.
Keystone in, and I'm making sense. But support.
How
the
do you
sport.
feel about sewing a beaver pouch into these?
I could take that so many different ways, but let's go with
Take it all the ways. I used to get a little like I'm tired of hearing these stupid double entendre jokes about hunting beaver, and eventually learn just to roll with it. You just got to embrace it all the way.
Mhm.
You gotta love beaver, dude. Like, I mean,
Who doesn't?
exactly.
Embrace the beaver.
Oh, I wanted to say,
Tastes just like beef.
Dusky, it was fun having you in the chat. So
Yeah, you're never going to be known by any other name now than Ringo. For anybody that ever, the 5 people that listen to us will forever know you as Ringo.
fuck it, let's go.
Amazing it took this long.
Well, support the sport and take a buddy hunting. If you don't, if you like that buddy, tell him about our show. If you don't like him, tell him that his mom has a regular cloak, and it makes him look like a bad cosplay. Hit us up at lghpodcast.com, and thanks for listening. And let's go hunt
Oh,
or fish.
Trying to think. I think CCC surround sound's not bad.
I'm trying to find them again.
All right. Well,
I
Yeah,
was thinking
look at
CCCP surround sound.
good night, folks. Dusky, we love you.